everyone, good morning. Hope you're all doing okay. Happy Monday. I can see from your comments and everything, everyone's got quite dull, dreary days. Another day for staying indoors and beading, I guess. Hopefully I've got something to inspire you today. So I'm going to be making my pin collar necklace, which is actually something that we had available not so long ago as kits. We did them on TV and also on the website. But today I've got new beads to make it with. So raided the warehouse, found some beautiful crystals. When Kitty's been doing her warehouse tours, it's beads that you all kind of highlighted, said you wanted to use. So we're using some beautiful crystal drums. We're also, or are they called barrel beads? Barrel beads. And also some lovely coin crystals as well. So I'm going to pop over onto the website to show you it. And also, if you are not already signed up to our newsletter, I'll tell you why in a minute, but you must do that. There's some really exciting news coming out this week. I'm going to go and show you where to go, first of all, so that you can get ahead and make sure that you're signed up to it. So the kits for today, I'm going to show you them in real life as well, because I know you love to see the beads. But they are from 24.35 down to 20.70, and you will make at least 2 necklaces from this. You could create a really full one. You could create probably 2 or 3 smaller clusters, and I'll show you as we go on. But you're going to get your curved coins, which are these ones here. You're also going to get the beautiful drums. You're going to get a strand of hematite beads as well. That's not on the list, but it should be. And then all of your findings. So you've got your lobster claw clasps. As you can see, you've got lots in here. Your culottes, your crimp beads, your jump rings, some seed beads, head pins, and your tiger tail. So I'm going to show you how to use all of those things in this one kit. So it's a really versatile set. So you've got the champagne, you've got the dragonfly, there's lots of colours on here. I'm just going to show you them in real life actually. Champagne, dragonfly, blue, gold and silver. And then just in case you want to add any more of your coin beads in there, all of those are in there, as well as your drums, and then your hematite rounds as well, which are 4mm. Now on the website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can see here, sign up to our newsletter for all of our latest news, products, updates and information. Just pop your email address in there, because this week we are going to be sending out a newsletter. Oh, sorry, flip me around. This week we're going to be sending out a newsletter letting you know about our new virtual bead clubs, or Bead E-Club, as Kitty has called it. So from the warehouse, Kitty would normally run a bead club on a Thursday evening, and we would have lovely ladies and gentlemen come and sit around the table and bead, learn a new technique each week. And we just don't know when that's going to be. So we have decided, well, I say we, Kitty has decided to do this virtually and to do it online. So there will be a weekly bead club. So sign up to the newsletter because there is going to be an email that goes out this week. And I think some of you are having problems with the video. Jodie, I'm not sure why it's saying I was here 7 hours ago, but I can see you're all here with me and we're live, so it doesn't really matter. So yes, sign up to the newsletter, because you will then actually be able to register your interest for the bead club, and anybody who signs up and registers an interest will also be able to get a bit of a discount as well. So it's well worth doing. Kitty's all excited. I can see her emojis. She's been doing some testers and everything as well. So she texted me this morning and said, right, the cat's out the bag. People know about it. You can tell them now. So that's really exciting, and that's going to be launching very, very soon. So make sure you sign up to the newsletter if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm going to turn you guys down. Let's have a look at some of these gorgeous beads. The ones that I'm using today are the green gold. I popped a little picture on my Instagram last night. They look absolutely stunning as a colour. We've then also got the silver. So I'll just show you these, so that if you want to go and grab anything, you can. You're going to get your beautiful silver-lined Toho seed beads, and then you've got the gorgeous coins, the drums, and the hematite. These are really beautiful. They will come with silver findings. This one, I was torn between using the green gold or the dragonfly because these just look beautiful. So again, you've got your hematite, your coins and your drums, and some beautiful teal size 11 Toho seed beads to go with those as well. As you can see, I picked these because the sparkle on them is just amazing, and I thought they would be absolutely gorgeous for this technique and for this necklace. You then also have your blue, drums, hematite and coins. It's like a bluey silvery sort of tinge, which is really gorgeous. And actually, let me show you these hematite beads. They've almost got like a little pink in them as well. Really, really beautiful. And then of course the gold, which is my favourite. But I thought I'd go for the green gold because it's just really lovely and different. So beautiful mixtures of beads, and I'm going to create pins with all of them. So like I said, in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you culottes, crimp beads, chain, jump rings, and also turning loops. So we've got lots and lots to be getting on with. So I'll quickly say good morning to you all before we go. Hi, morning Susan. Hi, Chef. Hi, Robin. Robin, you need to pop your email address in the newsletter sign up on the website, and then that will register you. Rachel says the dragonfly looks lovely. Yeah, it's really lovely. The dog and I just got soaked, says Anne. Early morning walks. Good morning, Mina. Hi, Pamela. 2 Pamelas. I've got Pamela, 2 a.m. in Washington State. Good morning, or good night, Pamela. Bless you. Early doors. Good morning, Michelle. Hi, Alison. Jean. Lots and lots and lots of you. Good morning, Camille. Hi, Jan. Some new names, actually, and some lovely, beautiful, regular faces as well. Okay, so the tools that I'm going to use today as well, I've got my flat, my round, and my cutters. We're going to need all of those. And as you can see, I've kind of lined up here a graduation of the pins that I've been working on. So the prep is quite heavy on this one. Well done, Robin, that's it. Pop over onto the website, pop that in. The prep is not intense. It just takes you a little while to prep all of your pieces. So this is something that I tend to make over a couple of nights. I'll sit and do a load of prep work first, and then you can construct it all afterwards. So I've done a little bit of the prep, and then I'm going to obviously do some with you as well. So my lovely size 11 seed beads, the ones that you get with the green gold, have the most beautiful finish to them. They're really gorgeous, and all of the seed beads complement the beads really, really well. And then what we're going to do is take some of our crystal drums, and I'm not very good at random. Sometimes the more random I try to be, the more of a pattern I actually achieve. But this is a really good one to actually get you used to working with different sizes of beads as well, and different textures. It looks really gorgeous when it's all made together, as you will see. So on all of them, I've tried to keep a little bit of uniformity in that most of them all finish with a seed bead and start with a seed bead. So all I'm going to do is take my head pins, and I'm going to pick up a nice little random mixture and selection of my beads. They all work beautifully together because they are all lovely colours. Everything's going to work no matter how you pick them up. I'm then just going to bend that over. Oh, sorry, I've still got paint all on my nails. I was making all of my autumn set for my study yesterday, and I'm covered in paint and all sorts. So I've got like my little pumpkin. If you follow me on Camille says, Sarah, when I was watching you add flowers to the pumpkin, I was expecting you to add a face. I have. It's just that she's so far away you can't see. I'll post up a picture when we finish. She's got lovely little eyes and eyelashes. So I was making my pumpkin and my autumn wreath, and I'm just covered in paint. But they look cute. It was worth it. Okay, so I'm bending my pin just above my beads so that I can have a 90-degree angle. And then to keep it in place, I'm going to hold it on my index finger, and my thumb is going to steady it. Pin facing up to the ceiling. And then I'm going to take probably about ½ centimetre down my pliers, making sure there isn't any wire poking out at the top. You can see that it's nice and flush. Carol says, oh no, I'm not good at random. Neither am I, Carol. But these beads make it really easy. You've just got to pick up nice little textures. You could even make all of them exactly the same size if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to slot that in so that I'm still graduating in size. So you can see I've started with smaller pins up at the top, and then they're getting bigger as we go further down. So for example, here I've got the lovely hematite on the bottom and some gorgeous coins, always pretty much finishing it with a seed bead, just so I've got, Carol, you'll probably like that as well, just so I've got a little bit of uniformity in amongst the mixture of beads. So when you're actually coiling, you want to make sure that, or turning your loop rather, you want to make sure that there isn't any wire poking out at the top, and I'm taking a flat hand and I'm rolling it away from me. Then I let go of my grip and I turn it back, so that each time, and sometimes I don't even go all the way back, it's just a tiny little nudge movement, so that I'm getting a perfect loop every time. And the smaller the movement, the more control you have over it. Now you want to make sure that all of these loops are perfectly shut, because we're actually going to thread them onto tiger tail. So you don't want them to come undone or to unthread from the tiger tail itself. So you could even do a little bit of an overlap if you wanted to. Chef says, OMG, it's so hard to stick to your plan about not buying any more beads. As I was sorting my craft room, I found so many leftover beads I don't know what to do with. Bang goes my plan. Then again, who cares? Have a lovely day, everyone. Oh, thanks, Chef. There are so many beads all over my study at the moment. I'm pretty sure you're all in about the same boat as well. It's like I've got stuff all over the place, and so many projects that I need to finish. I've got a big box of beads. I'll show you afterwards. I've got a big box of wooden beads because I'm planning on making a chandelier for in my study. So I like everything in my study kind of being, you know, things that I've made, or, you know, it's a creative space. So I want to make it look really nice. And I've had it sat there for probably maybe nearly 2 months now. Which is really annoying me, because I've got beads everywhere, all these projects on the go, and like you say, they stare at you, don't they? Going, make me. I just haven't had time yet. So I'm going to make sure that this week that is something that I do. So I will add that onto my stories and onto my Instagram and Facebook, so that you can see. So I'm not going to sit those two next to each other actually, because they are exactly the same. Oh, so are those ones. Oh no, it's not. Let's pop that one in there. And I'm just loosely, just roughly popping them into place. We'll do a couple more and then we'll get cracking with actually making it. Now, in between your crystal drums, you've actually got some larger seed beads on there as well. So they're really nice to use because it's just going to give you extra texture and dimension. And don't worry about it being random. That is the beauty of this necklace. It's a really nice way to use gorgeous mixtures like these beads, and it's going to give me lovely texture and sparkle. So we'll keep on adding these in. I'm going to do a few more longer ones because I just want a little bit more detail in the middle. Now, does anybody really struggle turning their loops? Please let me know, because I'll address whatever issues you're having now. And we can go over and make sure that I can try and perfect those for you. So do let me know if anyone is struggling turning loops. I can have a little look at what you're doing, or listen to what you're doing, and we can cover any of those issues so that you can have beautiful loops on your necklace. And this is a great necklace to master and perfect turning your loops as well, because you have to do so many. Good morning, Leslie. Hi, Lords. Morning, Edward. Oh, Edward, I did get a message from you yesterday. I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to reply yet. I think you were sending me a picture of something you've made, if I remember rightly. I'll make sure that I do that this morning. I'll get back to you. Lorna, question. If you made a little coil at the top instead of just a loop, would it act as a built-in spacer between sections? Yeah, you could. So actually, when I thread them on, I'm going to put a seed bead in between them. If you wanted to make sure, if closing your loops you're not so good at, what you can actually do is coil these little pins, and I'll show you one of those in a moment. You can coil the pins so that they're not going to unthread from your tiger tail. That's a nice long one. if I show you. So leaving more than a centimetre. So normally we cut it and leave a centimetre. If I leave about 1.5, and then we'll give it a nice little coil. So I'm going to turn my loop, but I'm going to allow the wire as it comes to overlap itself like so. And so making those little coils, that's now a complete closed section. So that's not going to go anywhere. I've gone a little bit wonky because I was watching the screen as I was turning it, so I'll straighten that up. And again, like you say, it almost acts as a little spacer, but that's also going to be a complete closed loop so that that isn't going to come off. That one will annoy me if it's in there, so I'm going to set that one aside. Susan says, I have a bit of trouble starting off the loop at the very end of the pin. It always seems to ping off the pliers when I start to turn it. So that's because you're just trying to get right to the end without any visible wire, isn't it? Sometimes, like you say, because you're trying to get all the way to the end, you can't quite get a good grip on it. So let's have a little look. I'll make another one. Do excuse me, I'm a bit nasally sniffly today. Hopefully the camera isn't picking it up too much. So I keep drinking my coffee because otherwise I'm going to start to have a coughing fit. Okay, so rather than going right at the top of your pliers, just move down a little bit more, because you can see the top of the plier is really, really thin. As you go down towards the base, it is getting a bit thicker. You might find that you're right up here, in which case you don't have very much of the depth of the pliers, Susan, to hold on to the pin. So I know exactly what you mean. You're kind of holding on to the end here and then trying to turn it, and it's just pinging off. So just come a little bit lower down. It will give you ever such a slightly larger loop, but I think until you get used to working with it and until you become comfortable with it, it's just going to be a little bit easier for you. So come a little bit further down, and that's then going to give you, hopefully, a little bit more of the wire to grip onto. And then, oh, my seed beads jumped into there. Pull that one in. So it will give you a slightly larger loop, but really not by much. They're pretty much the same. If you have a look, ever so slightly larger. But it will give you just that little bit more depth of the plier to actually hold on to the wire. Hopefully that will help. Okay, if nobody else has any loop turning questions, then I'll crack on. What I will address, just for those of you, in case you don't feel comfortable commenting, I think probably the most frequent issue that I see with turning loops is that you end up with a little shepherd's crook. So if we bend it to 90 degrees, and we do that so that we get the loop perfectly on top of the pin. If it's not, then you end up, it just doesn't look so neat. With something like this, it doesn't matter because we're going to cluster all of our beads together. But for things like earrings, or if you're connecting chain, I've got a really nice necklace coming up soon where we're just going to create a really long beaded chain. That kind of thing needs really good loops, because it's going to make it look really nice and neat. So a shepherd's crook, if you end up with a loop that looks more like this, and if we just nudge that little bit in, it's not the end of the world. It is still a loop and it's still going to be functional, but it's because you don't have a flush finish to start with. So you see that you get that straighter edge. Like I said, it's still functional, but you're getting it because you have wire poking out at the top, like so. So then if you're going to loop it around, you end up with something that looks more like that. Whereas if you make sure that you've got no wire poking out at the very top, and Susan, this having the wire, you know, if you've got, let's see if you can pick that up. Yeah, if you've got the tiniest amount sticking out at the top, it really doesn't matter. It pinging off just means you're kind of halfway through your pliers. So allow yourself a tiny little bit up there. And then by turning that loop, nice little movements, as you can see, you're then curving and rounding all of it. Okay, for something like this, obviously I didn't bend it to 90 degrees first, so it is a P, not an I. Just going to pop those pliers in there. I can then roll that back, and now out of my spare offcut of wire, I've made an eye pin that looks perfect other than the open loop. And it's all rounded, so it's not that shepherd's crook, it's a lovely circle. Okay, so I think this is probably enough to get going with our necklace. So I'm going to take my tiger tail wire and we'll start threading on. So I'm just going to get rid of the little end. Now your tiger tail will come on a spool. Tiger tail is several strands of wire woven together and it's got a nylon coating. So as you can see, kind of almost get the fluidity of thread, which means it's great for stringing pieces. But, excuse me, it's not going to break. I've never, ever, ever broken a piece of tiger tail. The amount of weight and force and strain that it can withstand makes it absolutely perfect for most stringing projects. Excuse me. For most stringing projects, which means it's going to be nice and easy to work with. Now, let's clear up some of these beads and get them out of the way very, very quickly. Now, with my necklace, I would prefer more pins than this. But by doing this, I'm going to show you just how far you can actually stretch your kit. So I'm going to get rid of these ones and we'll start threading on. So I've still got out of my bundle all of these left, which means I could probably do this 2, if not 3 times over again. So it's going to create a lovely little cluster that will probably be about this wide. I would probably go for more. My black and white one that I normally wear, do you know, I haven't found any of my jewellery since we moved house. We've now been here 6 months. We've still got boxes in the garage, which is actually getting sorted today. Because I've got so much stuff with all the shows and all the videos and everything. The amount of stuff I've now had to, these are all full. If you open it, stuff falls out. So I've had to go to the garage as well. So I'm getting loads of racking today to sort all of that out. And somewhere in there must be my box of jewellery. But my black, I've got a black, silver and white one that I wear. And it's full. It probably goes from like collarbone to collarbone. And it looks so lovely. I've worn it quite a few times on telly and at shows and all sorts. It looks really lovely with just like a top and a blazer or just over a t-shirt. You'll see as this comes together. Okay, so I'm actually going to double crimp these just because I'll show you how to get some extra strength. So I have threaded on my culotte. Now these culottes are our favourites to work with. It's the one that already has the loop up at the top. Remember, all of this is coming in your kit. Sometimes you can get the ones that actually just has a wire at the top and you loop it over. They do come undone quite easily. They've got their place. Oh, my black and silver one is in the warehouse, says Kitty. Well, that's why I can't find it. What, my big one? I don't think it will be. I think I've made a kit out of it, so that's probably a sample. But my one I've had for a long time. Maybe it is there. I'll have a little raid next time. So I've added on my culotte, and as you can see, it's got a hole in the very middle of the hinge, like so. So you just thread that with the dome facing upwards because it's going to encase these lovely crimp beads. And crimp beads are about the size of a seed bead, but they're soft. Look, they're squishy. So you can actually hold them in between your flat nose pliers and just give them a little crush. Missed that one. If you hold it loosely in your pliers, you can actually move it and position it to where you want it to go. I'm going to sit these two up here, and then I think that tail is short enough to be hidden, ever so slightly too long. So I'm going to trim off a teeny tiny bit. And then my culotte is going to encase those crimp beads. So I'm just going to close that dome over, which means I now have lovely hidden security inside my culotte, and it's given me a lovely flush finish. Now, silly me, I've put my seed beads away and I actually need them. So I'm going to pop seed beads in between my loops so that I've just got a really nice little finish. And then we're going to thread on a seed bead and then one of our loops. And I'll continue until I've built all of this up. So this is why I actually find it easier. When I'm prepping, I will make little piles of kind of smaller pins, larger pins, medium pins. I don't even bother like measuring them. I just do it by eye. But then when it actually comes to threading them on, I lie them all out like this so that I know I've got them all graduated. And as you can see, as we start to build it, and I'm going to push these together, we're just going to get a lovely bit of texture and dimension as all of the pins kind of sit and bounce out of each other. So it's not a piece that's going to lie flat. It's going to give us a lovely, a lovely little cluster. And it looks so beautiful when you wear it, especially when you've got sparkly beads like this. With my original one, I used kind of bicones and fire polish, which look really lovely. But when I was raiding the warehouse and you guys were asking for things with the drums and the coins, I just thought they are so sparkly. They're going to look absolutely fabulous if I do something like my pin collar. And it's quite funny, I think as designers, Kitty probably has her go-to shapes or techniques and pieces of jewellery that you just kind of love, and you end up trying to make it in every colour. Because when you know it suits you, when you wear it a lot, I think you always end up finding your favourite, and this is one of those for me. So you can do it with any of your beads. So as you can see, the pins are then graduating through in size. Let's move these up a bit. They don't all have to be long. So in my longer section down here, I've got the odd little smaller one. As you can see, like that one with just the hematite beads. Again, it's just nice for added texture and dimension. And this is why you want to make sure when your loops are turned that they are all perfectly shut, because the tiger tail is quite thin. And if they're not, then it's going to unthread itself. So can you see how this is starting to come together now? You've got the lovely gold from the pins that will sit in between each of your seed beads. And then you've got all this lovely texture coming. So you can see how if this was a really, really long one that goes all the way, it's going to look beautiful. If you use 3, 4, 6 glass pearls in the middle, with the dangles, this will give more of a flatter look. Yes, you're right, it would. But this one, I like having that textured effect. So if you didn't want it to sit up, then yes, you could have it flat like this. And you could use larger beads instead of the seed beads along the top of the tiger tail wire, and that would sit flat. Yeah, very much so. I just think this is a bit more of like a modern take on using your beads, which I really like. And it's also got, I know I often talk about that kind of air of mystery around a make. You can't just look at it and think, oh yeah, you know, I can see all of those beads, and you kind of want it to have a bit of interest and a bit of difference through the whole piece. Looks beautiful. I think I have made one in black for myself. Yeah, really lovely. Black just goes with everything, doesn't it? It's a good go-to colour for your accessories. I don't very often wear a lot of colour, so I tend to wear black clothes and then have different coloured accessories. Makes it easy. But yeah, if you wear a lot of colour, anything in black is going to go as well. And we're nearly done. And then I'm going to extend this out using some chain. So we'll pop a jump ring on either end of our tiger tail. So I'm going to show you in a moment just how to get that perfect finish, making sure there's no gaps in between your beads and getting a lovely, good finish on your tiger tail wire. And then you'll probably have leftovers if you've got, there aren't any earring wires included in this kit, but if you've got ear wires at home, then you'll have so many beads left over. I would say you could probably make 3 or 4 necklaces like this. We say 2 because if you want to do a little bit larger, then of course you can. So you can see this is just going to give you a really nice little detail, and depending on how tight you want it clustered together, so you could either pull it so it's really tight, but that tends to give you a bit too much rigidity, I'm going to do it so it's a little bit looser. So I'm just going to move those around, let them kind of hang and fall into place. And I'll probably pin it about there. And then that's going to give you that lovely sparkle. So on to the end, we're going to thread on our culotte. And then, like I say, you're going to go through the hinge, up, and then we'll add on 2 of our crimp beads. Now, if I had more time, I would have done lots more pins, but this is going to show you how to get the most out of your sets as well. So if you are thinking giftables and value for money and you just like getting the most out of your materials that you can, then something this kind of size is going to be perfect. Okay, so just having a little play with it so that I know there's no gaps, but everything isn't too clustered together. And then I'm going to hold on to my first crimp bead because this is the one that's going to secure it into place. So I'm just holding it loosely in my flat nose pliers. So loose I let go of it. Hold it in between, and I'm holding it right on the very edge as well, because then I know, you can just about see it there, you know that when you pull that down, it's going to go as close as you can get it. So that corner will go right in, and I'm just eyeing up the rest of the necklace to make sure there's no gaps. And then I think we'll go about there. And crush that one down, and then we'll add the other one in. Down as tight as you can go. And then we're going to trim off our little tail. Like so. And our culotte will finish over. So there's the little section in the middle. And I think it's such a lovely way to use these beads because it just makes them all look really special. The colours kind of hide them in amongst each other, but you've still got beautiful texture and dimension. Now we're going to finish off with a jump ring on either side. I only need 3 for my clasp, and then a bit of chain. So working out where you want it to sit, just hold it up against you, see where you want it to go, and therefore the chain will be from the cluster to the back of your neck. So knowing where that's sat on me, I would say about here. And then you can either cut the links in your chain, or you can open them just like a jump ring if you don't want to waste any. And then we're going to take a jump ring and open it up. So jump rings have the little split in the middle of them. So I'm going to hold my flat nose pliers, and my round nose pliers will go all the way across, and I'm going to twist that open. When you're threading on chain, I always hang it down. Let gravity help you out. So many times I see people kind of holding that last bit of chain and then struggling to get it in. Just hold it a couple of links up so that you've got all that visible area. Makes it so much easier to go through. And then we'll go through the hole on our culotte as well and close that off. And on this side, my culotte isn't quite shut. These two little rings aren't quite together, so I'm just going to pinch that together so I get a lovely finish. When it comes to getting the same length of chain, you can always add the links of your chain onto a head pin. And this is great if you're doing things like chain tassels, or obviously like this, I want either side of my chain to be at the exact length. And then I hold it up, let it hang next to each other, and you will see the exact link that you need to get, which is that one. And it just saves you measuring it. You know you're going to get the right length of chain each time. So if you've got lots to do, hang your chain on the pin, and then you can always see where they fall flat to each other. And then we'll do the same thing on this side too. Now, obviously, time constraints of me being able to prep and obviously doing the video live, this is a smaller cluster, but it gives you the technique, it gives you the idea, and I think you can see how amazing it will look as a larger necklace as well. But that's still really nice. It still gives you that nice little pop of colour. And then finishing off up at the end, just need a clasp. Now, I don't like it when I have a jump ring on my clasp, and this chain I know is actually strong enough and it's going to fit my clasp perfectly. So I'm actually going to open up the chain and I'm going to pop that on directly to the chain. I just think aesthetically it gives you a nicer finish, so that I've got my lobster clasp at the bottom. Could you put chain straight onto the culotte without a jump ring? Yeah, of course you could. So exactly like I've just done here, you could just put it straight on so that you don't have that bigger loop. These jump rings are a little bit larger because we need it as the fastening up at the top. But yeah, if you wanted more of a fluid finish rather than those jump rings, yeah, you could put it straight on. In fact, I'll do it on one of them just so you can see. So just like I attached on the clasp, we'll open that up and pop it straight through. So you could have either look. It does look so much nicer because it just gives you that straight line. So there you go. I would put the jump ring on. If you have a fuller necklace, I would add the jump ring on because you just want that little bit more security. But as you can see, it creates a really beautiful feature necklace, really lovely little cluster, and it's actually really easy to do. Not as tricky as you think, but we've used so many different techniques and materials as well. You can see it looks really nice on. Okay, so lots of different colours to choose from. They're all on the website. Everything you need is included. My hair is crazy today. Everything that you need is included. So that's all your culottes, your jump rings, your clasps, all of your head pins. You get 2 bags of your head pins. So I think you've got about 200 in there. So if you want to do those fuller, heavily embellished ones, then it's going to look absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, it's very simple to do, doesn't take very long, and it's going to give you that really lovely effect. Thank you guys. I am going to see you tomorrow. Now tomorrow is a crisscross necklace. I've got some beautiful beads to use. Let me show you the old one. So I am redesigning a new one because these were really popular when we had them before. Ouch, come. These were really popular when we made them before, so I have put together some lovely new colourways, but I'm going to be using jump rings as a lovely feature. We'll make some nice little clusters, and then we've got some gorgeous beads to go through it as well. So as you can see, it gives you a gorgeous little pattern. So that will be tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. We will be here as normal, and don't forget, sign up to the newsletter so that you can get that registration form for our bead club, which will be starting very, very soon. So that's really exciting. Head on over to the website, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there you can just input your email address, and you will be signed up to the newsletter. It means not only do you get notifications of any sales, any new launches, any of the TV shows, now you are going to get a discounted offer if you register your interest for our Bead E Club as well. Oh, hi Sarah, the kits don't mention the crystal wheels. Are they included? Yeah, they are, Jane. I'm not sure why they're not on there, but you get your coin crystals. I'll speak to Simon after the video and get him to put up the full list. So you get your, why am I showing you? You can't see my hands. You get your coins, you get your hematites, and you get the drums, and that's in absolutely every colour. So you will get all of them, I promise. They're in the picture, they're just not in the list. Lovely, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy. Diane, the email is coming at the end of the week. So you've got the week to sign up. It's so exciting. You got the week to sign up, and then you will get a chance to be some of the first to register. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'm going to go and get a bit dusty yucky in the garage, sorting out some racking. And then I might come in and get started on that chandelier. Keep an eye out and I'll pop it onto my stories later. Take care, everyone. Thanks for all the support. See you soon.